It just goes back to kind of who's making what decisions in jointly launched markets between Uber and Waymo. Because there's no reason Uber wouldn't want Waymo to flood the market there. And if Uber's potentially enticing them, Waymo, to do joint markets through funding of the cars or, nice payments on the rides that are there, like, shouldn't there have been minimum requirements that Uber asked for when launching new markets? And I think it just goes back to the very first question I was trying to get to, which we constantly get. Now that we had Austin was like, everything's great with Uber. Then Dallas was like, things are not great with Uber. Then Atlanta is like, things are not great with Uber because maybe people don't care, which again, as we said last week, was a false read. What it ultimately comes down to for a lot of investors is there literally now, is there going to be another Uber Waymo market, or are we done with Uber Waymo markets? What's your answer?
I'm going to give you the political answer. I think it's 50-50 at this point. I have no inclination one way or another. We did see something interesting, which I want to point out. Somebody on X went through the latest update to the Waymo app in the source code. It's no longer called Waymo 1, it's called Waymo. Is that a sign that Waymo's looking to go on their own? I don't know. But at this point, as it relates to Uber, I'm going to say it's 50-50, and I'm leaning towards the side of Uber being left in the markets that they're in.
Okay, so two things there. I have no idea why, if you called it Waymo versus Waymo 1, that sends you any signal about whether they're going it alone or not. So I don't know. Like, Waymo 1 versus Waymo, it's not Waymo Uber. So I don't think that matters at all. And on the likelihood for a new market, I think 50-50 is just way too low. It's still important for Uber to show to its investors that they are in the game for autonomy. And while Nuro is a great new partner to hedge their bet and to get the diversity and the segmentation that they want, Waymo is an unavoidable partner that you need to be, if you're Uber, partner with. Now, look, we've highlighted like that people should start asking questions about the financial relationship, blah, blah, blah. So I think it's possible that Uber is being more thoughtful as they negotiate the terms of new markets they're getting into. On the flip side, you've talked about, the pressure that Waymo has on the regulatory front in markets like Boston and New York, where Uber clearly has expertise in how to execute in these markets. So to me, I think the probability is much higher, meaning like 90% chance that we will see another Uber Waymo market. Remember, we're not anywhere close to Waymo making its final decision on whether it goes it alone, in my opinion, at least. I have no idea, but I don't think we're at least 2 years away from whether Waymo decides whether they're going it alone or going to do something with Uber. So in the interim, you're going to see more Uber markets. So I'm going to say 95% chance you will see an additional Waymo Uber market.
One market or two markets?
Doesn't matter. Just that there will be another market. That was the question. I know it's a cop out. It'll be more than one market though. If you're going to push back on me, that's fine. I will still say that it's going to be more than one additional. There's a lot of markets, right? As much as great as Waymo is in terms of being a quote unquote this scale player, the leader in the U.S. Let's put it in perspective. There are a ton of markets that Waymo does not exist. So yeah, I think it's going to be more than one market, 95% chance with Uber.
Put on your bulletproof vest and your helmet. Emphasize a point here. Waymo does not need Uber. Uber needs Waymo. Uber has to keep the narrative going at the end of the day. And I'll give you further pushback. Why did the CEO of Avis on the earnings call come out and say they're going to potentially do more markets together? Why is the Miami market not Uber? And if this fiasco in Atlanta, sorry, Uber, it's a fiasco, continues, if I'm on the Waymo executive team, it gives me more ammo not to go forward unless, and you rightly stated this, so you can take your ammo off for this one. What are the financial terms of that agreement? Make that public and let us make a better, clearer decision.
Well, there's no way you're getting terms of contracts like that public. And yeah, I've long said that Waymo is, has kind of more leverage at this point, at least. That's why you need companies like Nuro and Wave and and others to continue to progress and succeed to change those dynamics. Or, like I said, build up some of the fleet management stuff to get some greater leverage. But there is a definitive role that Uber does play in the interim, which is why they've already been a partner with Waymo. And again, we don't know what Waymo's final decision is as a company on whether they want to maintain a robotaxi fleet long time. We constantly get feedback by people that are certain that they know that they will not be doing, rideshare over the long term, and insist and go back to this citation and that citation. And if that's true, then they do in fact need Uber, right? Because what are you going to do if you're not running your own rideshare? You're going to have to partner with someone, and Uber's the biggest. Obviously, they could do something with Lyft, but does that not one market at all exist with Lyft? So we'll see. And, the question was one market, two markets, whatever. And when that happens, I can't wait to get back on this podcast and rub it in your face that your 50-50 was way too conservative.
And I will congratulate you if you're right. I think the one thing you and I could agree on now, we don't know what the heck is going to happen going forward with those two.